Hi, and welcome to the Unashamedly Human podcast, a podcast created to help you get out of your head and into your life. That is, if you want to have more fun, freedom, happiness, peace of mind, and success whilst squeezing the juice out of every area of your life. Join Jackie Ford every Thursday and listen in to her warm Scottish tones, wise heart, and wonderful sense of humour as she interviews guests and discusses what it means to be unashamedly human.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Unashamedly Human podcast. You've just got me today, no guest, but I do have plenty of guests lined up for you over the next few months at least. You know, I bang on all the time about being unashamedly human. The podcast is called the Unashamedly Human Podcast. My blog is Becoming Unashamedly Human. Every time I speak, I talk about being unashamedly human. You know, I just bang on about it in my podcast, my webinars, my emails, and practically everything I do, because for me, I believe it's incredibly important for everybody to understand. You see, that way, if we understand how our psycho-spiritual nature works, that's our psychology and our spiritual nature. When we fully understand that, we're able to surf the waves of life without getting too high, without getting too low, just being able to be chilled, man. You know, just being okay with what's happening in front of us. And when we know what it really means to be unashamedly human, that way we can articulately share what we know with our families. We can help ease workplace tensions, advance our careers, and enjoy our lives and our relationships more fully. Because knowing and becoming unashamedly human gives you an advantage in life. So after I wrote my email to my email list last week, all those beautiful souls who join me week on week and listen to my ramblings, I wanted just to take a few moments of everybody's time to remind myself and anyone listening or reading my emails why embracing our humanity in all of its forms is beautiful. It's messy, it's sweet, it's honest, it's raw, and it's the best freaking teacher you will ever have. Being unashamedly human to me means celebrating humanity in all of its forms. It means embracing our uniqueness and our imperfections, celebrating our strengths and our weaknesses, and finding joy and laughter in the moments we share together. I remember when our kids were little, we would sit around the dinner table and we would encourage them to talk to us about what was the thing that they thought was the best thing that happened to them that day? What was the thing that they felt was the worst thing that happened to them that day? And what was the thing where they felt they failed at? And that gave us all this gorgeous opportunity to talk about our feelings, to talk about how we perceived life. And it gave us an opportunity to recognize our humanity and build stronger and more meaningful connections with our children and with everybody around us. Our children learned that failing was actually learning, that your worst bits, there's always something in there that's going to teach you something. And our best bits, we don't celebrate those enough, do we? Really? I mean, hello. Do you ever wake up in the morning and say, God, I'm so happy? Why am I so happy? There's not many people do that. Whereas we're more likely to wake up in the morning and go, God, I feel so depressed. And then we look for all the reasons about why we're depressed. It's crazy. My goodness, these intrusive thoughts. They're actually quite comical. Anywho, knowing and understanding what it means to be unashamedly human means that we're recognizing that we're all more alike than we are different, and we can learn from each other's experiences, just like we did with the kids. It means being brave enough to be vulnerable and to express our feelings and our thoughts and beliefs without fear or any kind of judgment. Being unashamedly human means that we are all worthy of love and acceptance. regardless of our differences. And it means finding beauty in the chaos and the joy in the journey of life. I mean, isn't that just beautiful? It's taken me a long time to recognise the beauty in my own humanity, to not be afraid to show up as I am, to ask for help when I need it, and to surrender to the deep feelings that accompany grief and loss, and not to pretend that I'm okay when I feel like shit. I've noticed that nowadays on social media, there's a lot of people have jumped on this trend and they're blaming their parents for not teaching them how to regulate their emotions when they were children, which has caused them some form of trauma. When I first read these articles, I thought, oh God, me too, me too. My parents didn't teach me any of this. I guess this is why I've never been able to sort of open up completely. I guess this is why, I've masked my emotions. I guess this is why, I get angry in times of stress and excel at seething instead of setting healthy boundaries and sticking to them. This must be the reason why I was depressed, moody, anxious, and crap at having relationships and getting along with other people at various times in my life. And this must be why I have been on a journey of self-help and inner exploration for the past 40 years of my life and spent a freaking fortune on self-help books, courses, retreats, and events. Probably like many of you listening to me right now. Anywho, I am not going to blame my parents for something they did not understand. My grandparents were born in 1918 during the First World War, and they lived through the Great Depression in the 30s. I can't even begin to imagine the memories they innocently laid down as children, whilst war, lack of food, and uncertainty enveloped them. My parents were born during the 1930s, and as children, they lived through the Second World War. My grandmother raised her three children alone because my grandfather had been captured and was a prisoner of war in a Japanese war camp for 3 years. My mum and her siblings didn't even know if he was alive or dead because they had heard only that he was missing in action. Can you even begin to imagine how that thought would shape a young mind? There was no discussion of emotional regulation. People didn't understand it. There was no internet. There was a huge lack of publicly available information for them to begin to start researching their own mental health. Never mind the huge stigma attached to it. So people, just like my parents and my grandparents, stoically just got on with their lives, stuffing down their problems and developing all sorts of sabotage behaviours to self-soothe the pain they felt inside. Behaviours we would all learn to simply call characteristics of their personality or personality traits. My parents didn't know that as children, we were watching and learning from them all the time. They were modelling grown-up behaviours to us all. We didn't know any better, and neither did they. And that is why I will never blame my parents for not teaching me about emotional regulation. As an adult, I take the responsibility not to blame them. And over my lifetime, I have simply noticed the behaviours and ways of being that I innocently learned from them that just don't serve me anymore. And I've learned to work on them and to let them go. And if I can do that, you can too. I only have love and admiration for both of my parents and my grandparents. They gave me a strong foundation of love, generosity, kindness, and the ability to find my own path through life. They did an amazing job given what they knew. And my generation, through my siblings, have passed on both the wonderful gifts they modelled for us to our children, but also some of the self-soothing behaviours that we innocently observed and adopted. Please know that we all have an opportunity not to pass on our innocently conditioned ways of being to our children and our grandchildren. We all have an opportunity to show them a different path, a different way of experiencing their lives. a path that's infinitely easier. And we have time to do it. I hope that you hear something in what I'm saying and you feel the certainty of knowing that everyone is doing the best they can, given the level of their consciousness or their state of mind or their understanding of how life works. I would love, and I'm going to invite you all to come and join me. During the month of March, I am holding an online conference with over 20 world-renowned global teachers of non-duality, mindfulness, and the three principles. I would love you to come bathe in the essence of love and understanding during this month of March, to get your arse kicked, to laugh away your troubles, and most of all, to learn something new about your human experience that you can give forward to those that you love too. I'm really looking forward to this weekend. Indeed, I'm looking forward to the whole month of March. In fact, the whole of the rest of my life. I know that you, like me, will benefit from this seasonal reset. Plus, all the proceeds are going to help others in need. The first 20 people who sign up will receive a full coaching call with me completely free of charge, which I hope will help you see something new and fresh and useful that will make life a wee bit easier, happier or funnier for you. And to be honest, I'm excited to spend time getting to know you too. So I'll pop the details into the notes on this podcast. And I really hope you're going to join me. I'd also like to say, as always, there are scholarships available. So please just get in touch if you find you'd really like to attend. But at this moment in time, you can't afford to purchase a full price ticket. So again, a happy 2023 to all of you. May it continue to carry you to soft, unexpected places and into the arms of people who love you. So much love. Jackie.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You can have all you ever wanted. Hopes and dreams, every morning. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted. You know you could.